Okay, I will say this immediately. It's right now. It's midnight, and usually I would do. I just finished watching the state of play, and usually when the state of play is this late, I do the video the day after. But I have an exam, and even though that exam is in the afternoon, I'd rather still spend the morning, actually actually re-looking at stuff before the exam. So yeah, I'm gonna do this video right now. But anyway, so June 4th, state of play. We start off with Luminous Arise, or Luminous Arise. I have no idea how to pronounce it, but basically the game is made by the same developers of Tetris Effect, and in my notes I wrote Tetris, but not Tetris. So yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. That intro, however, was something else. I watched the state of play on a VC in a Discord server, and we had and every and we thought that it was the beginning of a Yakuza game, because it generally looked like the beginning of a Yakuza game, but it wasn't. So and spoilers, there was no Yakuza there was no Yakuza game in this, but yeah. Oh right, before we continue, yes, I did hear all the stuff about Yuri Lowenfeld, Erin Fitzgerald, and Amanda Willie, who were the voice actors of Yosuke Chie and Yukiko Persona 4, and if Atlas is going to say anything about actually going to confirm what these three said, and that indeed there is a Persona 4 in remake in the works, I guess we'll know at the Summer Game Fest. But yeah, now let's continue on with the state of play, and then we got some trailers about Pragmata, the game that I'm pretty sure they announced at the Game Awards. And in my notes, and also because I wrote Starfield if it was good, which wasn't a comment of mine. It was actually a comment from said VC, and honestly, I sort of agree with that. But yeah. Then we got Romeo is a Deadman, made by Suda51 and Grasshopper, I think it was, and it's basically fucking, if you mashed Dead Rising and No More Heroes, because it was basically the over the top violence of No More Heroes, but with the graphics of Dead Rising. It generally felt like that. So yeah. Of course, I'm not going to try. I'm not gonna buy it, but still, it gave me those vibes of being No More Heroes, Dead Rising, and No More Heroes. Then we got a trailer for Silent Hill F, to which I wrote in my notes, joking, "Where No More Readers," because if you remember, when Kojima was working on Silent Hill F, No More Readers was supposed to be in the game. Then, of course, he shoved them in for Death Stranding and Death Stranding 2. But yeah, and unfortunately, since I don't really care about Silent Hill F, Silent Hill in general, or horror games in general, well, bar one, but let's just not get into that. I generally skimmed through this trailer. I didn't really care, so let's just move on. Then we got Bloodstained: The Scarlet Engagement, which is, I think, the third game of the Bloodstained franchise, if I remember correctly. And for a little while before they actually revealed the trailer, we thought, before they revealed what the game actually was, the name of the trailer, I thought the name of the game, I thought it looks absolutely god awful, and I mean, later on they revealed what it is, but still, that game don't look very good at all. I mean, I think the other games looked way better, but who knows? Maybe it's just an early build, and maybe the game is gonna look better when it comes out, but who knows? Then we got Digimon Story Time Stranger, a full trailer for Digimon Story Time Stranger, which I think was announced at the Game Awards as well last year. And unfortunately, as I said, I never watched Digimon the show, so unfortunately I cannot say anything. I think it was either the Game Awards or SGF last year. But in other words, I'm forced to skip this game because I never watched Digimon, so I have no idea what it's all about. So, yeah. Then we got a remaster of Final Fantasy Tactics. called Final Fantasy Tactics: the Ivalice Chronicles or Ivalice Chronicles. Again, I have no idea how to pronounce that. And apparently, this game was released in 1997, so you got this game and Final Fantasy VII at the same year. That must have been like a big fucking whiplash. And yes, and I can say fucking because what? It's been I'm recording for like 5 minutes at this point. But yeah. Then we got Baby Steps, which in the VC we spent the entire time of the game being shown just saying how bad it was, and we tore the game a new one in that VC, and I'll be honest, it kind of looks garbage to be fair, but I mean, I say this, and then it turns out the game is gonna be like a smash hit, and it's probably gonna win like a couple of awards at the Game Awards, because that's always what happens when because that's what always happens. But yeah, we did not spare we did not cut any slack to this game. So yeah. Then we got Hirogami, which it looks like the type of game that my sister would review. Then we got the trailer for Everybody's Golf Hot Shots, which is a franchise that virtually no one cares for except for the game with the Mario characters. Then we got Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which in my notes I wrote insert game journalist filter joke here, because I mean, come on, it's Ninja Gaiden, so you know the first joke is going to be about gaming journalists unable to finish it or just having completed a tutorial. But yeah, then we got a trailer about Cairn, the game that got announced at the Game Awards, and this one I'm 100% sure about that. Then we got the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, and that Legacy Collection includes MK1, 2, 3, Ultimate Marvel Capcom. Oh god, I was preparing myself to say it's Ultimate Mortal Kombat, and I thought I'd say fucking Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom. But yeah, it's Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat 4, and I think Ultimate Mortal God damn it, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 4. I think that was the last game because I missed the last one. And the question I have is. But why did you decide to put Mortal Kombat 3 and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 in the same game? Because if I remember correctly, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 is MK3, but actually, complete with everything. So I have no idea why they decided to include that in the original game as well. Now, I get it, it's for preservation, but that's a bit weird to me, but yeah. Then we got another trailer for Metal Gear Solid Delta that's coming in August, and now, if you remember in the original game, in the boss battle of the end, there was this Easter egg where you could have killed the end by changing the time on the internal clock of the PS2, and the question I have is if they're going to keep that same Easter egg in the remake. Now, it's probably going to be a little bit harder because you cannot manually change the time on PS5. You can change the time zones you can change the time zones, but not the actual clock, the internal clock. But honestly, I really hope they actually keep that Easter egg. Whatever, and whatever. Even if they change it, I still hope they keep that Easter egg. Maybe they could do it by changing the time zones, but who knows. Then we got the trailer for Neo 3, which it's a Souls-like, so skip. Then we got a VR game in Thief Legacy of Shadow, and it's a VR game, so I skipped that one. Then we got Tides of Tomorrow, which is a game that honestly, to me, it looks outrageously mediocre. But I say this, and I know that this game is gonna be an absolute fucking smash hit. It's gonna win absolutely everything at the Game Awards, just like fucking Baby Steps. But yeah, at least to me, this Tides of Tomorrow game looks pretty bad. Looks pretty meh. But I know that maybe, and I say this, and then this game is gonna be like, it's gonna win fucking Game of the Year against Ghost of Yotei and Expedition 33. But yeah, then we got new levels for Astrobot, and now we got a trailer for Now, I have no idea what the name of the game is supposed to be, if Sea and Remnants or Sea or Remnants. I wrote Sea and Remnants, but maybe I'm wrong. And honestly, the feeling that I watched the trailer, and it gave me a lot of Monkey Island. It gave me a lot of Monkey Island vibes. I mean, hell, the the blonde guy, the blonde pirate, the blonde character. You see the blonde character with a ponytail. They that looks like fucking Guybrush. Come on, that looks like fucking Guybrush Threepwood. You cannot tell me otherwise. But yeah, it honestly feels like a Monkey Island game. Then we got Sword of the Sea, which is made by the same developers of Apsu and Journey, I think it as well. And this also is a game that I know for a fact is going to win at least one award at the Game Awards, possibly Games for Impact, but who knows? Or maybe Best Art Direction, either Games for Impact or Art Direction. Then we got FBC Firebreak, which I'll be honest, I kind of skipped because I was a bit distracted, so I don't have much to say about it. Then we got some selections for PS Plus, which includes the original Deus Ex, Twisted Metal 3 and 4 in preparation for the next season of the TV show, which I actually have no idea if that show is good or not, but if I remember correctly, that show was bad. But from what I remember hearing, that show was actually pretty awful, but I don't remember. Maybe I'm being wrong. And then, of course, we got Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 DOG. Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. I'm going to assume because of what's come out recently, chances are Capcom might announce the remake of Resident Evil Remake 5. So that the remake of Resident Evil 5. So yeah, maybe there's that. Then we got Myst, and I completely forgot the name of the other game, but I wrote Rivet, but it's not Rivet. So it's Myst and the other game, which I completely forgot the name of. If you watch the game State of Play, you know what I'm talking about. And then the game, the 007 game that was announced a couple of days ago, 2 days ago, and by looking, okay, first and foremost, that game actually looks legitimately fun, and I joked about. Actually, I was wondering if they were going to use an actor for James Bond, or they were going to use if they're going to use Daniel Craig for the James Bond, or they're going to stick with a completely new original design. And they went with the original design because apparently this is supposed to be an origin story. Like, this is going to be the first big mission of James Bond. After he joined MI6 and joined the British Secret Service, right, immediately after joining the British Secret Services after leaving the Royal Navy. Although I'll be honest here, and this was something that I was agreed with in the VC. The new Bond looks like a fusion between Daniel Craig, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland. So I mean, I said Daniel Craig and Andrew Garfield, but I was Andrew Garfield, but also was added Tom Holland. So yeah. Then of course, product placement, Omega watches. I mean, yeah, that's oh god. Anyway, then we got a teaser for Ghost Rivete with more details to be shown in July, which, okay. And then we got the game that apparently was going to be the big announcement, that being the fighting game Marvel Talk on Fighting Souls, which it makes sense because I mean Marvel had possibly the best thing ever since Infinity War and Marvel Rivals, and that was basically an Overwatch like. So why not have a fighting game with Marvel a Marvel fighting game that wasn't Marvel vs. Capcom? I didn't write this in my notes, but this is very likely going to be the closest thing we'll ever get to a Marvel vs. Capcom 4. Even though it's of course not gonna have Marvel Capcom characters. If anything, we might have some crossover with Guilty Gear because same engine. But yeah, in fact, I expect but like the first actually if I have to be honest, the first mod I expect is of course nude mods, because of course. The second mod I expect to be Goku, because of course. And the third batch of mods I expect to be Guilty Gear characters. So, yeah. But yeah, that's Marvel Talcum Fighting Souls, and honestly, I have no idea if you want to check it out, because as I'm pretty sure everybody knows, I don't care about Marvel. The only Marvel movie that I ever watched was Iron Man 1, and that was basically it, or rather the only movie of the MCU that I watched was Iron Man 1. So I have no idea if I'm actually going to give it a shot. I mean, I wanted to give Marvel Rivals a shot, and then uninstalled it midway through downloading. So yeah, at least I would hope that this thing is free to play, because if you have to pay for this shit, then yeah, absolutely not, no way. Although I will say that with this game, the sky is the limit for DLC. They could add literally everybody and the kitchen sink with the DLCs. So not only, as I said, Guilty Gear characters, but literally everyone. They could add literally everyone. They are. Again, the sky is the limit for DLCs. But yeah, that was the state of play for June 4th, and but honestly, it was way better than I thought it was going to be, because since the state of play is going to be since the Summer Game Fest is going to be in a few days, I thought this was going to be pretty bad, but or at least a great or mediocre. But no. It was actually pretty good, so I'm actually surprised at how good it was. So, yeah, thumbs of approval from me. And with that, see you next time.